So I can fetch more information. What do I mean with that? I can fetch the whole file, because up to now, I haven't fetched the whole file. I just did a search on the NCBI databases. I searched for files that are linked to the one that I'm interested in, but I didn't fetch the entire file yet. How can we do that? Well, for that, you use this function, the fetch function. How does it work? Well, again, you need to tell him which database you want to fetch from, SRA. Again, you need the ID. So it's very important that you have the ID. Yeah. And then you have to tell him what will be returned. So SRA will return XML files. You can also ask for FASTA, for instance. Yeah. But this will return XML files. So I tell him it will be an XML file, and you can parse it. You should parse it. Just going to do this, and then I will explain a bit better. A result here is an external pointer. What does that mean? Just take a look at F itself. So what is this? What is fetched? Well, an XML file with all the information that is in the file with this ID in the SRA database. So the actual XML file is fetched. Now, it's still an XML file. So what can we do with this? Okay, we can process it using a package that's called XML. And when you load R Entrée, it will automatically also load the XML package. So what does this thing do? So we're going to convert the XML into a list in R. I'm going to run this. It will generate a list again, and that list contains all the information from the XML document as complex list. Yeah. So for instance, I can then ask for objects in that list. So in the experiment package, yeah, go to the experiment object. So go here and then show me the title. It's one of the things that exist here. And he will give me the title that could also be found here in the XML file. So basically what he does, he parses the XML file and cuts it into different pieces of information. Yeah. So you have all the pieces of information as different objects in the list, allowing you to access them. Yeah. Another example, I will show you that he also helps you when you do this. So if I do this and I type my $, he will say, hey, you mean this object? I type my $, and he will say, hey, you have these different objects in this list. Which one do you want? So you can take run set then. I type my $, again. He say, haha, that needs to be this run object. I type my $, again. So in here you also see this is still a list, while when you see these things, these are no longer lists. Yeah, these are individual variables. So I type again, I say I want in the identifiers, I type again, you will say, aha, then you want this. The first time that you do it, you have to really go here. The easiest way is to go here and to see what he has, to find what the information is that you're exactly interested in. So the first time that you do it, you have to find your way here in this list. But once you know what you want out of it, the easiest thing is just to retrieve it like this. I'm just going to show you. When I do this, I get an ID of one of the runs, of the run that is associated with the SRA file that I asked for. It will be easier. This piece of information. It also makes sense, huh? When you want to find something, when you're interested in one piece, what would I do in my browser? Yeah, and do it in your browser also. And then, you know, for instance, what I need is this link here, or is this name, this ID. That's what I'm interested in. So, and that makes it easier to also find it back in the list. So it's a list with a lot of lists, but ultimately, yeah, when you go down the list, you will always get either one piece of information, yeah, like here, or in some cases, data frames. This is how you get these XML files in R and how you can convert them into something that you can process in R.